You're gonna have to go with your paper because I made a paper and I cannot see your paper anymore. So.
Okay.
Paper and I cannot
All right,
see your
cool.
paper. It says live on mine.
Yep, we are live. Yep. Cool. Awesome. We'll wait until a couple people maybe say a few things in the chat or something like that, and then we'll get started. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I can see you. Can you see me? Can you see me, Chucky? No?
I can't hear you.
No? Make sure you don't have anything else playing in the background as far as the live stream. Like my live stream on my laptop will be paused. You can't see me or nothing?
Yeah, I can see you. I think I might have to hold it because it's chilling there like that.
That's fine. As long as it's working, that's all that matters. I'd rather it work and then you hold it.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you're good? You can't see
I'm
me
an
though?
arm wrestler. I know how to suffer. I can see you now. I can hear you and see you now.
Good. Well, we got some people watching the stream, it looks like. If anybody wants to say hello in the chat, and we'll get started here momentarily. We will get started. I just scarfed down the taco back. Needed the fuel. Like I said earlier, I'm going to try to keep it right around an hour and a half, but you know how that goes. Hi, Tony. How's it going? Boost. Mike Williamson is here. He said, good day. Hope everyone is well. What's up, Mike? Doing good things down in Zanesville. The wife just stopped in and said hello. Let's see here. What do we got? Six still. One of them is me. That's okay. Chucky, you froze up, brother. We lost him, I think. I think we lost him. I think we lost Chuck. It still says he's connected, but it's just a black screen here. I think he's coming back. There you go.
All right.
Cool, you're good?
I can see you. I'm hooked up to my Wi-Fi and everything. We're ready to rock and roll. Sorry about that.
Well, there's Jeff. What up? What up, Jeff? Attaboy. Do them wrist curls. You better get that recovery in. All right, well, we are going to start the show.
Wrist curls. Finally,
welcome,
sorry.
Everyone. And Chucky, welcome. We appreciate you coming. Welcome to the East Ohio Arm Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Billy Collins, and tonight on the show we have Mr. Chucky Peterson. Welcome to the show, Chuck.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having me on, brother. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. I love having you. So what's going on, man? I know that you had a little bit of a hiccup today in the planning.
Yeah, that was my whole day. Like, that's been my last month and a half, like, just nonstop panic and chaos. But you know what my motto is? Just keep grinding. Like, that's all you can do. Like,
yeah,
it's going to keep coming at you. All you can do is just keep pushing forward. That's how I seem to attack everything. Yeah. Like, you're going to take some losses. That's all there is to it.
Now, do you want to go over? You want to say anything about what we talked about earlier? What happened to you today?
My wife got bit by a spider.
Ooh.
I was at the ER because she said she was it was burning. Like, she works at the hospital, so she had like the cancer lady like marked it like literally with a pen like around the rash and everything, and like it started to grow, and they were like looking at her like telling her like she needed to go down to the ER, and they were gonna keep her on the clock, but she needed to get down there and take care of it the right way and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't know what really bit her, if it was like for sure a spider. That's like the only explanation we can think of. It's funny because I got bit by a spider too right here in the wrist. You can't even see it anymore because it's gone, but it was there for like 6 or 7 days. And I don't know if it's just like the way your mind works, it pushes it out, or maybe I was just keep grinding through it type of thing. I don't know, but
you're good.
It was itching and it went away, and my wife's was itching today and then ended up burning, and then she went to the ER. So
wow.
Yeah.
Is she okay now?
And then
is she done?
Yeah, she's okay. She's out, and I went there, and the guy's like, "Oh, you can't go in."
What?
Because we're at full capacity. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I drove from Girard all the way to Erie, Lake City, all the way to Erie to find out that I couldn't go in there, just to have to drive back to Lake City to pick up my daughter and the puppy. So it's been that day, that kind of day.
Wow.
Fun time.
That does not sound fun at all.
Like I said, keep grinding.
Wilkie said, "Yikes! Daughter got bit by a spider at camp last summer. Hand swelled up like a grapefruit. Had to take her to the hospital. Also, man, I hope that worked out for you there. Hopefully, everything is fine with your daughter. But yeah, man, that is not cool. When I had COVID, they didn't let my wife in to the hospital room. I just went down and got checked out for a little while, and I think I had like a panic attack or something like that. But yeah, it's not fun being in there by yourself. I guarantee you that. I can understand why she wanted you there by her side.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I got to her mom's, and she was gonna send her mom, but then her mom decided that I should go, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I should go." I don't know. My brain was just so messed up from the day. I'm like, I didn't know where to start. I didn't even have some type of food yet, so I was like, "Oh, geez." So yeah.
Well, anyway, I appreciate you coming on the podcast and joining us today, man.
Yeah. Thanks, brother.
So first question I want to hit you with, how about, can you just tell us about yourself, just in general, about your family or anything like that you want to give the viewers?
Hey, man, I'm a father of 4 kids. I'm a husband to the strongest, most beautiful woman. Like, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd be able to push myself as hard as I do. And I know sometimes they don't understand, but one day they will. I believe that. But my wife is so encouraging as it is. Like, she doesn't realize it, but she really does help me like want to be better, like all around. And like hearing the things she says and stuff, and hearing my kids, like they'll come up to me and they'll be like, "Daddy, feel my muscle." And I love it. It makes me so happy to hear it. I'm not one for looks or anything like that. I love everybody. God, I believe in God, and that's how I want, my image to be seen. I want them to know that He's first, and then family, then friends, and then arm wrestling. And sometimes arm wrestling gets in the way of all those sometimes, but
yeah, we
it'll
can
all work
definitely have
out.
our priorities mixed up sometimes, can't we?
Yeah, we're men.
Oh yeah,
we're terrible at that.
yeah. Oh, I understand that.
We get yelled
So
at enough for it too, right?
yeah, for sure.
It's all good.
How about let's hear about any upcoming events that you got planned. You got any plans on going to any events upcoming here soon?
Dude, I've like got the itch after your tournament, bro. Like I want to go to all of them. Like every single one that I see popping up,
Yeah.
like tears in my brain that just be crying all the time because I have that desire. I'm like, okay, so January 7th, I would love to go to that one. And then I seen that one February 4th. Those two are, closer.
Yeah.
I would love to go to Winter Blast. Like, truthfully, like, I feel bad I haven't been able to, go out to the 98%, tournaments that they've had so far. Like, those guys are awesome. They're a little bit too awesome at times, but we all get there. I totally understand, we
So
we
do you
let it
have
go.
any do you have any of the events that you know for sure you're gonna hit? You're just gonna try to hit them when you can.
Johnny Jarrett reached out to me and asked me if I was gonna go on the 7th, and I told him I want to go to the 98% one. I really do. I want, like, Dave Shell came up here and Josh Musser, and they helped my tournament that I had. Like, it was like a challenge match tournament, and it was ran so awesome. My wife, did all the concessions, and I had Colin Stroder as the MC. Like,
he does a great
phenomenal. I couldn't, like, I hadn't even heard him yet, so that was like my first time, and he was like such a genius. I'm like, what? Like, this dude could like have his own stuff, He's the man. I was like, it's crazy.
Colin he's the man on the mic.
It's true. Like, definitely. I seen that at James Reed's tournament at the Sandbar. Like, he kept it going like Tim Lewis did for you, but like, there's some kind of extra spice that Colin brings. It's like, so there's a flair,
Play by play while he's doing everything.
Yes. He did. He made my tournament so enjoyable. Like, it wasn't a tournament. It was an arm wrestling event.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Well, hopefully you can make it out to that 98% Winter Blast, right? That they're the main promoters of that, right? That's their event.
Yeah. I would love, like, it's just always like finances don't line up and time doesn't line up. Like, I have 3 kids full time. I have 4 part time. I have a dog. I have cats. I have my wife. It's easier to go the ones around me right now because I just have enough money. Like, when I showed up to yours, I learned a couple things about admission. Like, it was perfect for me. Like, but I just had enough. So I was mad at myself that I just had enough to take care of everyone that was with me. My wife and my son needed to eat. I needed to eat, to keep the energy going, and to pay for gas to get there and back, and to pay for, all the classes, which may have been my fault because I decided, I pull my match right-handed and then pull left amateur and pro, and then right amateur. So it was kind of like a 4-class kind of thing in my head, the way I was playing it.
Right.
And so like I broke myself and it was my fault. And I'm just like, okay, well, I learned something here.
Yeah.
Don't just think you're going to have it all on that day. Like have a little extra, you know? It seems to be that way for me for arm wrestling, is always learning, like no matter what it is, you know? And I don't always have the answers, but I always try to figure out the answer. And it's the same thing in life. Like arm wrestling has taught me so much, and I cannot thank it enough, period, or the people around me, period.
Can you tell me how long you've been arm wrestling? Like, how did you get into arm wrestling, and like, how long have you been arm wrestling total?
Oh man, I've been arm wrestling was 2 years in July. It was, so I'm like almost 2.5 in.
Yeah. You're right. You're like 4 months longer than I am. I started in September, and you started in July. So you got 3 months on me.
It was July 3rd, I believe, at Bart Woods was my first practice. I was so like, I was talking to Johnny, like, dude, Johnny Hanowski, he is like the man. I can't even stress it enough. Like, dude, like, I think he's the real reason, like, I ended up starting, because I learned about it from him just by him talking about it. I went through a breakup and I started going to Planet Fitness, you know, like to calm my mind, it seemed like, and I thought that was going to help me. And he happened to be at the Planet Fitness that I went to, and he was standing around, and I'm like, what's this dude standing around for? He's all tatted up, looking like a badass. He always looks like a badass, just so you know. But he is, like, it's the truth. Well, that happened where he's like doing that, and then went like into the locker room, and I seen him in there. I'm like, hey, like, how did you get your forearms like that? He's like, I'm an arm wrestler. I loved doing arm wrestling with people when I was in school. And so I was like, this is a real thing? Like, no way. But the problem was I could never find the time after this. And like 2 years later, me and my wife were together, and we went off the road in a snowstorm pulling out of Co-Fair, and him and his buddies were doing donuts down the road at a church. And I'm like, these guys are awesome. They came and pulled me out, like, for real. I was like, I shook this dude's hand. I'm like, thank you, man. I was so grateful, you know?
Wow.
And like 4 years goes by, and I asked him, hey, can I like get with you so we can do this arm wrestling thing? Like, I want to try it. And I still wasn't able to hook up with him. Like, it's been one of those things where I could have been arm wrestling for, you know, the whole time I've been with my wife, kind of thing. Like, I've been with her 9 years. Wow. So I could be 9 years deep if I would have just committed to this thing. It's so crazy. But seeing, like, I created all these friends over that amount of time on Facebook, and I'm like, started to see it develop more and more. And finally I'm like, all right, Sundays I have off. Like, my job literally basically like lined it up to where I work Tuesday through Saturday, and I had an open day. I'm like, I would love to go to church. There's another story behind that, but we ended up not being able to do it that way. So I'm like, well, I need like something to like let my demons out, you know? And it ended up being a practice. I went to Bart Woods because Johnny invited me, and dude, there were so many cool pullers there. Tyler Irwin was there, actually. Now that you ended up saying that you were going to pull with him tonight. Well,
he literally just left my house.
It's so awesome, dude. But I didn't get to meet him because I was, a new puller type of thing. John Bakes, like, he was like one of the guys that made me like see like arm wrestlers were nice, not this bad dudes type of thing. Like, he was nice. Martha Swick was there. She was super nice, super badass. But like everybody that was there was so awesome. And I'm like, I showed up and everybody was bigger than me. And I had been working out for like 3 or 4 years, like steady.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is everybody so big compared to me? I was like at a loss. Like, I didn't even know how to explain it. I was like, I want to be like that, And second practice, one of the guys, it was Honecker, we call him Slim, went over to his house because he hosted it. It was the next week. And Aubrey Reese and Nicole Lynn and Alex, well, we call him Alex, Turkish Alex or something like that. I always mess up his name, so we just called him Alex. And they taught me. And then the third practice was supposed to be at Bart's again, but then it was rained out. So we moved it to my house because David Shell was traveling at the time and I wanted to meet him and I hadn't met him yet. So he came over and Steve Norris came over and the dude took me under his wing. Like,
awesome.
I got my butt beat by this dude named David Shell. Like, dude, I was like, I'm strong and this dude is stronger than me. I'm like, I couldn't explain that. I was like, that's even worse than going to the first practice, Like, I don't even know what to say about it. I'm like, this is intense, And if it wasn't for him beating me over and over that day, I probably wouldn't have sucked, all that in and been like, yeah, I want to be better than this. Like, I really do.
Yeah.
Because I seem to have like a competitive side to me, Yeah. Win or lose, I'm gonna be competitive. Like, that's the bottom line. I don't care if I lose. I don't care who talks about me. I love everybody. So even if you're hating on me, I still love you. I don't care. You can say something and I'm gonna go with it.
That's an awesome way to be. So, do you mind how old are you, Chuck?
I'm 32.
32. Okay, I got you. I was
actually
you were right around 30.
Might be 33. I don't know. My brain's not cooperating.
I did the exact same thing today. I couldn't remember if I was 37 or 38. I literally did.
I might have just turned 33. Yeah, it's something like that. June 22nd, 1989. I'm so bad at math. That was my worst subject. So
I got you. It's no big deal.
I like to pick things up and put things down. That's why I arm wrestle.
Now you move. Are you a furniture mover? Am I right? Yeah, I did moving furniture for a year, and it is not an easy job.
I actually was in the warehouse for 9 years first, and then I was like force promoted to delivery because our company like dropped the warehouse, and then it ended up coming back after I had been on the road for a year. But by that point, I was already making a little bit more, and I was like already into it. I already liked it. And then I'm traveling everywhere and I get to see all these cool things. Like, I'd never seen Lake Ontario before in my life. And I delivered a piece to Lake Ontario. The dude's backyard was Lake Ontario. It was so amazing. I was like,
yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I used to do the furniture moving too. And I tell you what, I was in the best shape in my life at that point. You know, 8 months into that, dude, my back was. I probably could have deadlifted, 400 or 500 pounds easy, and I probably only weighed 160 pounds.
Oh man, there's some pieces that are just insane that I pick up, and
those big armoires that people like up in their third stories, up in their
yeah, gentlemen's chest. Yeah, those are very wonderful pieces.
Did you ever have to take anything over a banister yet?
Yes, a lot. The heaviest piece, it was a Paula Deen armoire, and it had both doors weighed 85 pounds a piece, I swear. Like, the whole piece itself was like maybe 520 pounds. And it was just, I was only doing it like part-time because they would call me out of the warehouse to go on the road for like people that were sick.
Yeah.
And I did this piece. I was so small then. Like, I couldn't believe I picked this thing up. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, and all we did was carry it from the truck. Actually, I think we slid it down onto the pad, carried it from the pad to the steps, then carried it up the stairs, and then luckily this dude had workers of his own.
Oh, beautiful.
And him and two of his workers helped us.
Wow.
We had to flip it over the banister, turn it,
oh my goodness,
flip it back into the room across the way, and then could walk it into his room finally. But because of the way we had it, we had to flip it over his bed and then back over his bed, and then finally it was upright. And it took all 5 of us, like, every step of the way. But luckily, I haven't seen anything like that for 7.5 years or whatever. So I'm so very happy that I don't deliver anything quite like that.
We delivered Pottery Barn furniture, put it together and delivered it to people's places, Pittsburgh area. And I tell you what, some of that stuff was a little heavy. Some of that stuff was a little
fun.
heavy.
Pittsburgh is a lot of fun.
You meet a lot of nice people on the road,
Oh yeah. Well, you meet a lot of nice people, but you meet a lot of different people.
I understand.
As well.
Understood. Yeah, understood.
But I don't judge.
A lot of wonderful people, though.
I love everybody. I'm better with the customer, I think, because of that. I do stutter over my words a little bit when I'm talking to them, it seems like. But me and the customer always seem to, like, see eye to eye when we say goodbye. Rather, I'll be out with some of the people, and I don't know what's going on in their head. Like, they're like, they go out to the truck and basically leave me with the customer. And I'm like, that's all good. Like, I don't mind. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Cause what are they going to do? Stab me? Whatever. I guess I'm going to get over that one. What can you do?
Oh, they're fine. Yeah. Yeah. I met a lot of nice people moving furniture. You got their possessions in your possession. I mean, they're, for the most part, we never really had any issues, so it was nice. It was a good experience, and you can still use those experiences, throughout life,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially in arm wrestling. Arm wrestling is, I'm telling you, that and delivering furniture and being married and having kids, like, they all seem to have those hard times and good times. They're all there, and they're all such a learning experience for me, at least. I know it's that same way for everybody else, but I really take something every time, from all of the things that I do.
That's awesome.
Stepping up to the table and facing Fred Morrison at your tournament, man, I learned my weaknesses.
He got thick, boy.
Oh yeah, he did. That dude,
he got through it.
He told me I got stronger, so that made me feel great because I was a little wuss. Trojan Wars 2 or 2 or 3, I can't even remember which one.
Yeah. Croxel said that you and him had a really good match left-handed.
Oh, yeah, that was so awesome. So awesome. And then I let my left go because I was training just my right for Fred. So when I got up on the table with Josh, he just smoked me at your tournament. I'm like,
oh, okay, yeah.
I should have listened to Steve North. The dude knows exactly what he's talking about. Like, and it's like specific for each person. Like, he knows what weaknesses you're having and knows how to build upon that weakness. And like, I really believe that anybody could come to him and learn something new.
Right.
And it's just, it's insane. Like, Danny Hilliard, that man has taught me so much on the table itself, like positioning and stuff like that, like form. I can't thank them all enough.
Yeah.
My team in general, you know, Tyler Van Epps, that kid has made me way stronger alone by himself. The kid's a natural. He's something else.
I'll get to your team here in a little bit. How about some goals that you have for yourself in the arm wrestling field? You know, do you have any goals that you want to hit within, like, say, 2 years? And do you have any long-term goals, like as far as maybe some 5-year goals or something like that? Do you have anything like that you want to talk about?
Well, I'd like to, you know, the next couple tournaments, like, I'm hoping to win a couple more amateur championships. Like, locally, I won it, but that was a couple people that had been in my practice, so I didn't feel right, even though practice wins are totally different
Oh yeah,
from tournament wins. I really,
right.
truly believe that, and I felt the difference and stuff. So it still made me feel good either way, but going to a bigger tournament like yours ended up being, I'm like, okay, so those type of tournaments, I want to win 1 or 2, and then, you know, I mean, I pulled pro there, and I'm like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought, but there's also the thing like, well, I didn't face a guy like Paul Talbot who's going to rip my arm completely off when he takes it to the pad. So I'm like, okay, maybe pick and choose, you know, when I'm going to pull pro at the moment type of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have ever pulled pro if it wasn't for James Reed and Michelle Dugan. I only signed up for like 2 things at their tournament. I owe them so much. Like, they literally, what they did was threw my mind ahead, you know, and now it may be too far ahead and had to be knocked down a little bit from there. But
yeah,
it's like a full circle thing, you know, just the rotation keeps going.
So it sounds like
Always
you want to be able to finally move into the pro category within
pro.
2 years.
I'm sorry. By 3 years, I'm really focusing on that. Like, just trying to better myself, better my workouts, get stronger, get smarter.
Yeah.
And I work Saturdays, so it's like I literally have to pick and choose. And then my wife races Saturdays, so, you know, I don't want to completely rule out tournaments, but I don't want to completely rule out going to watch her race because I love watching her race go-karts. She's a back-to-back champion at State Line. She won in 2011 and 2012. She's She's so dope. She's like me, like that focus. Although I think she's way better at the focus, and she doesn't know it though. But she is. She says she's like gets a little bit of anxiety, but you can tell once she gets rumbling out there, she gets better and better. And I'm like, I'm learning off of that as well. Like watching her progress throughout it. Yeah. It's so awesome. Like other sports,
it's nice to see somebody else close to you have that fire. You know.
I'm sorry, Tony.
It's nice to see that that fire in your loved ones, you know, that you can see them, that they are wanting to better, you know, and work towards a nice goal of theirs. And I love watching and seeing people hit their goals. It's really nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's check out the chat real quick. Let's see here. Let's go up here. Said Mike Williams said, how long you been arm wrestling? So it's 2.5 years. Jeff corrected him on that, a couple years. Yeah. So Jeff Wilkie said, I consider table IQ the highest social importance. Yeah, you definitely got to know what to do on the table. Yeah. Hey, my wife's here. She gives us the strong arm.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that's awesome.
Tony Stansbury's asking, Chucky, what weight do you arm wrestle at?
Yeah. Sorry, Tony. Yeah. I weighed in at Billy's tournament at 193 and I ended up pulling 198. But like I let my weight like do whatever it's gonna do. But specifically because of your clothing allowance, I was trying to come in at like 203, hoping that I could pull 198 at my like heaviest for the tournament.
Right.
Because I knew I was gonna need everything I could possibly get in order to beat Fred. Like I watched what he did and I was thinking, oh yeah, he has a weakness. Well, the problem is, even if he does have that weakness, is getting to that part in the weakness. And that was not possible. He didn't let me get there, even in the strap, because I feel better in the strap. The man, he taught me some things.
Yeah.
I had to go back to the drawing board, as all of us arm wrestlers get to say every time we lose at a tournament. Every time. I love hearing it, though. Like, it makes me, I love the people that are like, okay, I got to go back and break it down and get back to the basics of it sometimes, you know.
Man, I love learning. And the only way you're going to learn is by losing.
Yeah.
It's going to sink in a whole lot harder than it is if you're learning something. If you're winning, may or may not sink in. But if you're losing, you're going to be learning a whole lot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, let's see. Mike said, arm wrestling is the most challenging sport I've ever done. So many things to manage in your training, mentally, physically, and in recovery. Recovery is 100% the most important thing in my training regimen. For sure.
Sorry, bro. You cut out there for a second.
I said Mike was talking about the list of things that he loves about the sport and how challenging it was, and then I was saying that very, very important to me.
Yeah.
Without the recovery, I'm not going to be able to do practices every week.
Yeah, lifting furniture makes me have to like work out less, it seems like, and I have to take more full recovery days is what I call them, because I lift the furniture, but I don't want to tear something when I'm lifting it, so I have to make sure like certain muscles are healed. Like specifically, I can really work my forearms out and it be okay to deliver the next day, and my hands, they always end up getting through like a couple after full days of recovery after doing those, on the days I deliver. But biceps, if I go too hard on the biceps, I can't lift furniture. Like, I go to pick it up and like I can feel like tear, like it's just a nagging pain. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to make sure that I don't go too far with this and have something completely tear. So it's like finding the right happy medium in there. I'm not. It's coming, but it's not coming.
So let's see. Mike Williamson, he said, Chucky sent me back to the drawing board left-handed for sure. So it sounds like you guys had a nice left-handed match.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Wilkie.
I actually...
Go ahead.
Actually, after that, I was like thinking to myself, I wonder what his right feels like. And then I think he ended up facing JD. And I'm like, well, he faced JD. I'm pretty sure JD knocked him out, but I don't know who he faced before that, because arm wrestling does that. Like, if you see somebody facing somebody, if they face somebody before that, you can't judge the one pull that those two had because of the one prior.
Right.
So I'm looking at, I asked Mike, I'm like, which one is better, of your arms? And he said, right. And I'm like, that's very interesting because my right is stronger. So whenever I face my cousin JD, like, it can take off better and get to my spot.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, fresh for fresh, if me and Mike like had a match, like, how would it go? Like, it made me wonder. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm really intrigued by it, And then, I mean, left-handed, I don't know who he faced either before me. So maybe that person made him, just that much off. So when I got up there, it seemed like my left was better. I love arm wrestling because it's just all a mystery.
Make you think. Let me put this out there. I would like to see you and Mike Williamson right-handed at Garage Wars.
Dude, you read my mind. Like, that's the weirdest thing. Like, I've been thinking about it ever since your tournament. I'm like, well, but then after asking Mike, right-handed, or what his stronger arm was, and he said that, and I'm like, that would be awesome if he was down. Like, that would be so cool. Like,
Mike, if you're here, if you're in the chat still, Mike, let's see a thumbs up or something for a right-handed match with Chucky at Garage Wars May 13th here in East Liverpool. Let's see that thumbs up. Let's give a confirmation that we're going to make this match happen. I want to see it. I want to see it. Let's see here. Wilkie asks, where in PR are you, Chucky? Oh, there's Mike. He said, let's do it. Red line.
That's my dude. I never expected him to be backing down from anybody.
No.
That's that guy. You can tell, like, he's got it. Whatever that drive is, you can tell he's got it. Especially seeing his one rehab video, he's just pulling that freaking rope, and I'm like, dude, that's pretty dope. Like, I wish I had like access to something like that, but I don't go to the gym. I have whatever's in my basement and whatever's in my closet and whatever's laying on the floor next to my closet. Actually, my wife bought a stand finally for my weight plates because she got sick of kicking them. Got it for Christmas. She also bought me something to get stronger as well because she's cool like that. So
let's see. So you guys are going right-handed at Garage Wars. What is the max weight? 198? You guys want to meet at a weight, or do you want to do a max weight?
What's he normally walk around at?
Probably 200. I do believe that's what he's walking around right now at 200.
Yeah, I mean, he could get to, we could say max is 210. 210.
Max
Like, I'd be cool with that, but I can't gain weight. So I'm probably going to end up still being 195 to 203. So he could come in 210.
Let's say 205. How about that?
Okay.
How about 205? He's 202 this morning. You're like 195. 205 max. Right-handed at Garage Wars May 13th.
May 13th.
Beautiful. And that doesn't start till 3. So it's not like you got to be there, at 11 o'clock in the morning. So you might be able to do a couple deliveries or something like that, and then make your way down.
Yeah, it still doesn't work out like that. Yeah, no. I tried to do that for Trojan Wars 2, I think it was. Or maybe it was the first Trojan Wars. It was something like that, and I ended up getting there like 2 hours later. I only stopped to just be like hi pretty much and bye. Like I pulled in 2 people for like 2 or 3 people for a couple minutes, and I was like, yeah, I gotta go. I got family, and I think we had something else going on. Oh, I think my wife was at like a wedding or something, and I had to go do that. It's just how my life is. Run, Rudolph, as my wife and me would say.
Well, it is a first for the podcast. It took 4 episodes to get our first match over the podcast. That's awesome.
That's great.
I'm sure it won't be the last. Everybody call out.
Yeah.
Call out in the chat.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Right.
That's awesome. That's going to be a good match. I'm going to enjoy that one. Mike, he's on fire for the sport. I tell you what, he's trying to do his best to get some guys down in his area for sure.
Yeah, he's hungry for more people. I'm the same way. Like, it's like I see his desire and I see my desire, and like they're like dead even, man. I mean, he may have even a little more than me, which is weird for me to say because I always feel like I have more than everybody, but he might have a little more desire than me. Like he might be bleeding it more than I am. So it could be really interesting.
Let's have everybody, if you're watching, click out of the chat, hide the chat, and go and like, share, and subscribe to both of our channels, Chucky Peterson Arm Wrestling. I'll have his channel in the description and everything after the show's over. I'll have to go in and take it off of private and everything. But everybody, make sure that you guys are subscribed to Chucky Peterson Arm Wrestling, and if you can, hit the like button on this live stream. We'd really appreciate it. But
yeah, man, thank you. Thanks for the shout out. I appreciate
no problem,
that.
Man, no problem at all. Wilkie, Garage Wars is going to be bumping, Billy, and I hope it is. I was down at the venue today, and we was looking at it, and it looks like it's going to work out perfect. There's a big hallway going down from the street, and I think we're going to be doing a community day alongside of it. A bunch of stuff for the family and kids and stuff, and there's going to be like a long hallway, and we're going to have the one table with the spotlight over it.
Yeah, dude, that was so epic. Like, I never felt like I didn't expect to feel alone at the table, ever in this sport. And I really did there. Like, it was so cool it being all dark and just the light on the table.
Yeah.
I was a little flustered, like the refs, being there. That was like one of the things that had my nerves like shaking a little bit, like, because I'd never, experienced either ref. Both good refs, just so you know.
Yeah.
And I mean,
awesome.
all your refs were good
Kurt
there.
Kurt did a great job too, and
yeah.
And I thank everybody that helped ref. If you're in the chat or if you're watching and you helped ref at the Kiwanis event, thank you so much. We appreciate it so much. Let's see here. Mike said he's honored. That's awesome. We got a thumbs up from Adam.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Dude, that's going to be a good match.
I'm honored as well.
That's going to be a good match. I know you guys got plenty of time to train. It's, 5 months away, so let's see a good match, and, I'm going to give it all on the mic. Hopefully, I won't have to be reffing, but if I do, then it is what it is. But I'm hoping to be on the microphone for the MC for that event. I really enjoy doing that, and it's a fun thing to MC over these super matches. It really is, because a lot of them I know each competitor, and it's fun. It is a lot of fun. So let's get back to your team, man. Can you kind of go into your team, like who all is on your team? Can you show up your shirt, Wolfpack, right? There you go. Awesome, Wolfpack. And that's out of what's the hometown again up there? Erie, right?
Yeah, Erie. I live in Waterford. Steve lives in Waterford. Danny lives in Edinburgh, but Steve's like 5 minutes one way, and then Danny's like 8 minutes the other way, and then Tyler's so dedicated. He's been driving up from Titusville, which is like 40 minutes, and now we got
that kid Tyler. That is
dude. Yeah, man.
That young man.
He's something else, right-handed, man. I can't even. I hate when I get stuck with him, like in there. I'm like, wow, like there's so much power right there. Like it is intense. I actually described it to my buddy today. That it's like his wrist feels like your kneecap. Like if you feel your kneecap, that ball on your kneecap, that's exactly what his wrist feels like when it's kinked and you're stuck in there and you can't get out it. There's no way to go through it. You have to literally like pull back. It's got to be like the certain movement to get out of it, because once you're in there, it's so hard to get out unless you're one of the bigger, badder guys who can go through it better. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I've seen the bigger dudes like go through it, and I'm like, how is that even possible? How are you that strong?
I felt Tyler up in Cleveland, and at that practice, then when I had my match with with Mike Sayre, and I tell you what, it was towards the end of the practice or whatnot, but I tell you what, he still had a ton of horsepower. Tyler did, and I didn't think that he'd have that much power, but whenever I gripped up with him, I was like, holy moly, get me out of this hook with this young man. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
It was wild. I was like, because he only weighs, what, $125, $130?
You know what? I don't even know, because he's always got to face, the youth. So I don't even think I've ever asked him. Oh, man, that kind of beats me up a little bit, because, I don't know how small he weighs. Oh, that's terrible. That makes me feel even worse about myself.
Yeah, after you message him and ask him how much he weighs. But
he's an animal. Oh,
yeah.
He's come so far, like just watching his progression in general has been one of the most satisfying things in arm wrestling that I've seen so far. Like it's really awesome.
So who all is on your team? You got Tyler, right? You got Tyler Van Epps. He's 17, just about to turn 18.
Steve North, Danny Hilliard, Tyler Van Epps, and then JD is like part of our team, but he has his own team.
Yeah.
And then just recently, I mean, we get Bartwood comes out here sometimes and helps us, and Johnny Hinoski and John Bakes, and like,
awesome.
You know, there's people from other teams that come here, and I mean, they're closer, so that's one of the things. Like, it's nice to like meet up, and you know, they're helping us, we're helping them, we're getting pools, you know, that type of thing. And my dude Trevor Moore, he had his own team, and
I like Trevor. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's so awesome. My wife loves him. She's like, he's my favorite arm wrestler. It's hilarious. Like I love hearing that from her because I really enjoy him. Like his intensity, like at practice, like specifically when I went to his practice, I didn't know how much intensity he had until that practice. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I'm going to get to train with this guy every now and then. He lives in Warren, and, you know, we weren't seeing each other every week type of thing, but we would be able to gauge each other. And now he said something about, you know, not facing your teammates, you know, in a super match. And I get what he's saying by that standard, but I have done it just to gauge myself to see where I'm at type of thing. So you kind of have to do that, but I get what he's saying. Well, he actually was my gauge, and then I was his gauge, and now he just told me he'll be coming weekly. So I'm like, yeah, sooner or later, you know, I'm sure he'll end up with a Wolfpack shirt on if you know, my coaches think it's right, and if he would like it, I'm sure it's in store for him if he keeps coming. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Definitely some power that I would love to have at practice all the time, and he says he's down. So
good.
I just feel bad he has to drive so far. So now that we got a traveling table, I hope, you know, when the weather gets warmer, stuff like that, we can like meet in Corey or something.
Oh yeah.
Then, you know, and pull, like somewhere where we're loud though. Like I don't want it to be like, oh, I don't know who's going to call the cops on somebody setting up a table, but you just never know. You know, just waivers and there's all sorts of stuff. You know, I'm not a lawbreaker. You know, I want to keep my job, so family first.
I definitely understand you on that one. So any more about your team? Like you went over the people that are on your team, right? Is that everybody?
The full Austin, my man. Oh, dude, that dude's riser. Austin Hilliard, man, his riser. I don't even know. Like, it's just coming like off his brachialis. Like, it's insane. Like, right. I don't even know how to describe it. The man, I'm sorry, I'm so hyped up right now. So like, it is truly a pleasure every time I grab up with him. I can't pin him like unless I grab his hand fully, because he like will open his hand in a certain spot and re-grip, and then he'll have my hand. And if he gets my fingers, he's got me. And I'm like, oh, that's not good because I can't pull away or anything like that. And so he'll pull my fingers and right down to the pad. I'm like, this kid, man, this kid is something else. I love the young guns, dude. I love watching them progress. Like he's getting stronger along with Tyler. And Nathaniel Richards comes up more often now. Fisher Reed's been coming out and pulling.
Yeah, Fisher's been messaging me about coming down to a practice or something like that. Yeah. He's like what, like 20, 21, something like that? Fisher's pretty young.
24, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
I enjoy working with the younger guys, man. They soak up that knowledge, you know. Anything that they can learn, they're right there keeping it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, there's people that aren't on my team that come to practice that I would, in my head, I'm like, these people are my teammates, you know? Yeah. But there's that part of you they're like, you know what the professional basis of that is, and they're not part of your team, but you would love them to be on your team if that was a possibility, you know, kind of thing. Like,
okay.
I feel like the more you show up to a person's practice, the more you're a team member, you know, like
right. Once every
Steve, Tyler, Austin, Danny are here like most every week. Like we barely miss, you know.
That's awesome.
And hopefully Trevor's added to that completely too. But like, I understand, like if I have something come up on a Sunday and I can't make it, my team understands. So it's cool that we have that, you know, compatibility with each other in that, you know.
Gotcha. That's awesome, man. So out of all of your teammates, which one impresses you the most? Which one has really really kicked it in for you, that has pushed you and that really impresses you on the table? One of your teammates.
I always go back to Steve North because he's like an arm wrestling calculator or computer. Like, he can see something and be like, this is what you're doing, this is what you need to do. And it works. Granted, like, there's some things that I've done that he told me to do, and maybe I'm just not doing them right. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe I'm not the greatest coachable person. Maybe that's all it is, you know. But my comfortability in certain situations makes me better sometimes, and like, I know myself to that extent. But he really can still take those things and be like, hey, look, you want to get stronger here? Check this handle out, do this with it. And dude, the strength I've gotten from every time he showed me something is so amazing.
Awesome.
And he just showed me something 2 weeks ago, and I am so pumped.
What was it? I want to hear about it.
Nah. That's a secret, bro. Like, you can't tell secrets.
I was gonna take it and use it. You just messaged me after the show.
There's just certain things I'm not allowed to, you know, let loose from my tongue. He has to know I'm trustworthy. He already knows I am. But I want to keep it that way, and he could probably beat me down, and I'm not about to get beat down by him. I'm not going to take that for the team. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, you can just ask him, hey, can I share this information with Billy?
He'll probably be down with it, but I'm definitely okay in it first.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I didn't tell Trevor either, but I told Trevor to get over there to figure it out. He's like, oh, we tried, but I couldn't. I was like, well, listen, get there and he will show you. And I promise you'll be like, oh, that's what you're talking about. But the one thing about Trevor is he used to be a trainer in California. So his thing, like, his body might be more used to those movements than I am. Okay. Like, I love training like arm wrestling specific more than anything. It seems like,
Yeah.
even though I'm not the greatest at the movement, sometimes it seems, but he literally showed me like body weight movements, and he's like, "Well, you train like a bodybuilder," and I'm like, I get that, but I think really is what he's missing for terminology is I'm a stamina guy. So
Okay.
I'll train until like I feel like I'm done,
Gotcha.
kind of thing, for my workouts. And then I need, a rest day or something. But like the power he showed me to create was like a breakdown of what I needed to do. And it wasn't arm wrestling specific first. It was a bodybuilding type of exercise, other than like when he went fingers, forearms, like it was outside in, and it was so intense, dude. It was awesome what he taught me. I love it.
That's awesome, man.
I'm gonna incorporate it, and I'm definitely gonna show some power because of it.
Good. Man, it's been a while since we've got to grip up, so I'd like to grip up sooner or later. And
oh yeah, it has been a while. Wow. Yeah, we didn't even get to shake hands, other than when when I was leaving. Forgot about that.
Oh man, I tell you what, I was just too busy, way too busy. That'll be the last time I do tournament directing, polling, and refereeing
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, I heard you say that.
That'll be the last time that happens. There's no way.
Smart man.
I'm gonna do reffing and polling at January 7th up in Ale House, and I'll learn from that whether or not I can ref and pull at the same time. I don't even know if that's possible. I might not even be able to do that.
Oh boy.
But that's the last thing I want to do, is not be able to pull when I'm at an event. Like, oof.
Arm wrestling is an adventure, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Let's see here. Tony asked, right hand category for Ohio. That's my goal.
176. Does
Yeah.
Drew Hollinger pull on 176?
He's 154.
154.
Yeah. Yeah. Him and I had that match we had was, I love that match.
I was going to say, dude, I think if it was possible, if you were at the same weight, like that would be a dope Garage Wars match, you versus him. That would be so cool.
It was an awesome match, and I was probably like 15 pounds heavier than him.
There you go. So maybe it'll still be a good, great match then. 5 months
maybe
down the road.
Maybe I'll talk. I talked to Drew about having a super match at some point, and I said, "Man, we had such a good match. I'd love to do it again." We'll see what happens.
Think that's the one, bro. I'm telling you.
Adam says Drew makes 154 again, so I don't know. I'll have to get the Drew. Maybe
gaining some weight.
6.
Heck yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Heck yeah.
Then Tony Stansbury asked, "Is Garage Wars going to be live streamed?" Yes. I'm at the moment. If I have to, I will live stream it from my phone again. I hope it doesn't have to be that way, but if it is what it is, if that's the only way we can do it, then that's the way it'll have to be. My wife, Christy, she said he streamed the last one, so I'm sure it will be streamed as well. Yes. Adam said he doesn't see Drew making 154 again. We'll see. I don't know. It depends on whether or not he wants to move up those ranks at 154. You know, we'll see. And then he said after he had a war with you and John on the left, I think he's staying at 176. I'm gonna have to message Drew and see what his thoughts are on that, because I wouldn't mind having a match with him again. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Very equally matched, I do believe. I enjoy those matches that are really close. Man, I love those matches
Yeah,
where you
I
back
feel you.
out. Oh,
Those are my favorite.
oh yeah. Dude, I think I had to sit down and take like 8 minutes before my heart rate came down after that one. I'm not a hooker. I'm not a hooker at all. And somehow I made a wrong move, or he made the right move, and I ended up in a hook, and I am not a hooker at all. And man, I tell you what, that took almost everything out of me for that one. Wilkie said, "Yeah, that was a war. He had me yelling. I know that, dude. That was
we were all yelling, brother. I was screaming.
That was a fun one. I love having matches like that. That got me kind of pumped up. Man, ugh. Come on, Drew. Let's go, baby. I want to see it. But we'll see what happens. I'm down if he wants to, but if he doesn't, it's no big deal. I'll find somebody. Let's see here. Is there anyone that you would like besides Mike? We talked about you're already gonna have a match with Mike Williamson. Is there anybody else that you definitely want to pull, like maybe within a year or two, like somebody that you want to work up to and be able to have a competitive match with?
Man, it really, Fred just sticks in my mind. Like, I want to get like a tournament win on him, or like just pin him once. Like, that would be awesome. But to be honest, I'm not sure how long that one's gonna take, because he keeps developing, and
Yeah.
I mean, I know I do. So maybe it's just like I get smarter and I hit one of his weaknesses full through. But I'm the type that likes to shoot for the challenge. I don't want to shoot lower than what I think.
Yeah.
And I've learned in arm wrestling, like, each level, there are levels, and I'm learning each level as I go, like who I'm facing and stuff. So with him being that far out, like I said to you, Alex Bean, like I would love to pull him. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't know which is better on him, right or left. I'd imagine right.
No, his left is definitely better. Yeah.
What, didn't he have a right-handed super match with somebody at your tournament?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but his left is better?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
It was him and Joe. Their rights were way closer as far as the level.
See, I feel like me and Alex are like really evenly matched then, with just that basis, because I pulled pro and came back to amateur to pull him, and like he just like, dude, magic move, like shifted his elbow and his hand back all in one motion. But like, if I hadn't pulled those two left-handed matches, I feel like we would have got stuck like me and Josh did. Like,
okay,
and it would have been like, oh, okay, like,
nice.
I don't ever want to take anything away from anybody, though. So it's hard for me to actually say that that's 100% true. You just
yeah.
I feel that way, but when you have a match with somebody, else it can prove like you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like
you
that's
want
why I
to
love
find out
arm
whether or
wrestling.
not you were right now, but you want to find out in 6 months.
Yeah, it's like,
That's
oh
hilarious.
man, is it really there?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna find out. Well, I really thought like I was close to Fred Morrison, but man, I was not close to Fred Morrison at all.
Fred,
And
I
I faced
beat him
him.
in the night before, and he weighed in the night before, and I was like, "Holy crap, dude got thick, boy!" Just from July
Yeah,
up in Townville.
yeah. He told me he was 220, and when he said it, I'm like, I was like, I know how much power I've created just by training my right, but I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be enough power, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
I did
I thought
find a better lane.
I thought that you guys were going to meet at a lighter weight, but I didn't realize that. And he was
That's another thing
like
I
219.
learned though is weight cap for sure, and like tell the ref or the promoter, like have it set in stone kind of thing. So Mike, please don't come in at 220 if we're meeting at 205.
Yeah.
Because I probably won't make 205. I don't know why. I'm just can't gain weight. These Christmas cookies have been hitting differently.
Hamburgers.
And the eggnog, I'm not, well, yeah. I don't know. I've got to drink more protein shakes. I'll drink like 2 for a week, and then I'm like, just hate making them. Hate drinking the same thing. But I found actually my buddy gave me a Christmas present of protein powder that I actually liked for once. So
good drink.
But I
use it.
I still lost the motivation to make it every day though. But if I can stick to it, then I could probably gain enough to be, a good steady weight right where I want.
Yeah.
I think for my arm wrestling career, it will be sticking between 190 and 220, like whatever the shift is. But, time will tell,
Yeah.
And I love to change my mind. So who knows? Maybe I'll drop to 180.
If they had a 180 class, if you're 190, 195 right now?
I was 193 at a tournament. Last time I weighed myself, I was like a steady 194. So I was like, I gained a pound of muscle since your tournament. And I think it's like, a real steady pound. So finally I'm gaining again, but it could, like I said, be the Christmas cookies and the eggnog.
I said it could be the Christmas cookies. That's hilarious. That's funny. I mean, if there was like a 185, that would be perfect for you. You lose, 6 pounds of water weight, and boom, you're the biggest guy in the class.
Well, there is 185 at certain ones, and John Bakes has showed me that, dude. Every time I meet him in a tournament or arm wrestling event, the man takes me, and I did this last time try to go through his power, and that made me learn yet again that if I want to win, don't go to their power.
Yeah.
But I also want to know how strong I'm getting in their lane type of thing. I have that mentality where I'm like, I want to beat you at your game. And for arm wrestling, I really need to lose that.
Yeah.
I truly.
That's an ego thing. That's an ego thing.
Yeah.
Trying to beat somebody at their game. It's all ego.
Yeah.
Not a smart move. I'm
getting better in that lane, just so we're clear. But it's just taking too long because I haven't got it yet. The man just keeps showing me up at the tournaments.
There you go. It is what it is.
I love training with him. He really helps me. Like, I love it.
That's awesome. It's really good. Yeah, I've never got to grip up with John, I don't think. I'd like to grip up with him.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. He had a match there.
Very strong.
I know he was shooting high with that match with Tim.
Dude,
but,
I
applaud him for trying.
How good he did, and he's like me, like really, beat himself up a bit over it. Like, man, I wasn't where I thought I was, kind of thing. But dude, he got so much stronger. It's so crazy, and his recovery for tournaments specifically, I don't know what he does, but he knows exactly what he's doing. And it's probably Bart Wood and John Hanowski, like, really helping him with that. And, they teach so well that I think that he takes that in, and it's part of that thing. Like, he's got that nature of it, and it's beautiful.
That's awesome, man.
I love seeing it translate to the table.
Yeah. I need to make it up there again to one of your guys' events up that way.
The reason I went to yours is because you went to our local. I'm like, and then you reached out to me after, and that was a more epic thing. I'm like, wow, this guy's like cool with me, and I don't even think I talked to you like at the tournament or anything. I'm like, that's awesome. Like,
well, I wanted to, like we talked before, I wanted to get together for a collab, for our YouTube channels.
Yeah.
We were both, I mean, we're both still, minuscule amount of subscribers compared to the rest of them. But I mean, I'd like for us to, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted us to grow together, and any kind of collaboration, I think would be beneficial for both of us, for sure.
Well, we're collabing right now, but
yes, sir.
I feel you. We'll definitely go somewhere else with it sooner or later. So
yeah,
I plan on it anyway.
Let's hope so. I'm hoping this podcast will catch on, and we're going to do the community podcast here fairly soon. Look out for that one. That one's going to be a lot of fun there.
Heck yeah! You already know.
And if anybody's watching, the community podcast for Ohio Arm Wrestling will be on this channel. And what I'll do is if somebody wants to come on, I think we're going to max it out maybe to maybe 9 people at once. We'll see. That's a lot of people on a podcast at one time, but we'll see what happens. I'm hoping to just keep it right around maybe 4 to 6. But, we might stretch it out to 9 at some times or something like that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
I've seen some special things happen on 98, like where they start out with like 3 guys, and then they get 5 in, and then they get 7 in. And it's amazing to watch that.
Yeah.
The sport is growing, the podcasts are growing, the camaraderie, the community.
Yeah. Fisher's here. Fisher Reed said, "Hey, my guy Chucky, repping the ERI. What up, Fisher? He was supposed to come down to practice. Let's go, big dog. He'll get down here. But yeah, dude, it's such a beautiful sport, though, isn't it? Such a beautiful sport. So let's move on to the next topic. I know we've been talking about your job and all that stuff. For your training, what is your training like? Like your gym, what kind of lifts are you doing, and what kind of recovery are you trying to do as far as like your gym time?
I'm losing you a little bit, but I caught. Was doing more cable work than anything. Like, since the beginning, not real what table time would.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, brother.
Yeah, you broke up a little too.
Yeah, we're definitely breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, our connection's bad again.
It's all right. It'll come back here in a minute. Hopefully. Hopefully it'll come back.
Cable work though. Cable work handles. It was the Country Crush and Country Crush Raptor handle were the first two, and then I started creating handles. And like I told Henny I was gonna like show him all my handles, and then I started to learn slowly that I don't want people developing strengths in those, with those handles without me being able to. It was like holding it all back kind of thing, like in my head. I'm trying not to give away these awesome things I'm learning, but at the same time, like I want to show everybody too. So sooner or later, the cat will come out of the bag, and those things will come. But I've moved from cable machine. What it was like starting out was pull. I'm like, you're pulling to you, so that's what you want to do. Why would you want to do pushing exercises? I do it at work, one,
Right.
but then on top of that, like I arm wrestled at a practice where Brandon Elsesser was there, and I kept trying to figure out how to hook. Like it's like 6 months in, and I'm still like trying to pull to me, and like it messed my elbow up, and I couldn't do push-ups anymore. Like I was doing mad push-ups at the time and stuff like that, and it drove me away from that, and I started doing more pulling, and it really seemed to like help with rehab rather than what Toddzilla said, where he like does the JM presses. I think I'm backwards, where pulling rehabs it and it doesn't hit that spot. But his JM presses would structure your elbow to make it stronger so that when you hit into those spots, it doesn't fall apart.
Right.
So I make my own exercise to, make myself healthy enough to pull again type of thing. Otherwise, it's not going to work out for me. But now I'm learning I need more free weight stuff. Like I can't just be a baby and be using cable machine. And somebody else, actually, I just learned this today. One of my friends has always done more pulley system work, and I'm like, that dude's a monster in the hook, so it makes sense. I'm like, okay, like that's why. But also I don't know the angles he's training. So like with handles, if you're creating them, even if you're showing people, they're not going to know what you're working. They could figure it out like on their own for themselves, like hitting certain spots, but their chances are 50-50, like they're not going to learn the exact same thing or same way you are. I don't know. It's all building. So me building, them building.
One of these handles that This is probably one of my favorite ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I seen you working with that, and I'm like, I want to create something like that, but I still haven't.
Easy.
But I have so many. I have so many just like that. PVC pipes,
Easy.
There's wrapping from my job where they have the 3-inch tubes. So I'll take those and then I'll cut them in half so that my hand can fit on them to work, those positions. But then I got like bigger ones than those that are like 4.5 inch. Like I barely use those handles because I really like um a handle that fits into my hand.
Right.
It's like the people with the art arms. Like I don't have one of those, and I didn't try to make one or anything. And I hated like seeing them. I'm like, why do people love these so much? Doesn't make sense to me. But the more I learn, the more I'm like, this is why. It feels like a hand almost, you know, and your thumb has to slip in through that hole and it helps you. But the funny thing about it is, I asked people if this one thing would be cool to, or good to work with when I started working out, and everybody laughed at me type of thing and said I'd get hurt. Well, it almost is like the art arm, other than it's all steel. So therein lies the problem with using that specifically. But the art arm is like, I imagine like a gel or plastic. Like there's a little bit of give, I think. So when you slip your thumb into it and you pull back, you're not breaking your thumb. You know, it probably feels kind of cushiony with the weight. So I'm starting to realize more and more that that's a handle that I need. And then watching people get those wrist max ones, I'm like, which basically is what you got there, that black one.
Yeah,
but I have certain things like that. Well, I created just your usual wrist wrench, but I feel like I use that less. I probably should use it more.
Yeah.
But I'm also still trying to figure out how I like to pull. So I'm like, hook or top roll, because I don't want to press. I've learned.
What is your biggest number movement? The only way you're going to measure what you're stronger at is by numbers. You know, you set something up on a pulley or whatever you want to do, you know, your max lift or whatever. Whatever move you can do with the max amount of weight, whatever your max amount of weight that you can do, that's your strong point. You know, so if you can back pressure 100 pounds, but you can't hook it on off to a pulley system and, you know, drag it, then you know that you're going to be a better top roller than you are a hooker. But you know what I mean? And but if you can press 150 pounds, you know, then maybe you're a presser, you know.
Yeah, I'm not a presser.
Those weights don't lie. Those weights do not lie.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
They're humbling too. Those weights will humble you.
Saying that, then I'm definitely better top roll then, because I don't know what it is like in my form, like just going back to me. It's comfy, you know. But I love like when I can drive inside with a hook and then come back. Like I love that move. So I keep training both. I was told by a friend that I wouldn't develop well over time, and I took that as a challenge. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, maybe I need to listen to him, and I can still do both, but I need to focus on my stronger one kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you max out one heavy lift, I just pick one and just do that, and then that could be your ace. And but don't give up on all the other ones, you know. But really strengthen your ace move, whatever that be, and then really hone it in. You know, really hone that in, because you know you get on that table on a tournament day and you want to hit that ace move as quick as possible. So if not necessarily if you're wasting time on your secondary and third moves, you know, you still want to have those, but you want to have your move as strong as possible. So if you're taking your your training sessions and you're divvying up the time equally between them all, your ace move isn't getting any stronger.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I think that I was already opening my eyes to that, but hearing that from you, like, that definitely makes way more sense.
And
So I
another
think I
thing
definitely
too,
need to hit that more.
I would I'm learning this now about my recovery. Like, with double the amount of weight for my recovery, I was hurting myself. If I tried to do double the amount that I would normally do, I use like 10 pounds to 20 pounds average just for 100 reps, for my different various movements. There's like
Right.
maybe 10 to 14 movements that I'll do for recovery. So it's like between 10 and 20 pounds between all of them. You know what I mean? So I've been finding that I'm healthier. Yes, I'm healthier and I'm able to practice every week with kind of minimal pain. But I'm not getting any stronger. So as far as my weights, the limit of the weights that I can pull on max day, that number isn't going up. So I'm now thinking about, instead of doing 20 reps, 5 reps of 20 with X amount of weight, maybe kick it back down to 12 or 14 and up it maybe 5 or 7 pounds. Still try to get the same amount of lactic acid in the muscle, but more of a power motion instead of a lightweight recovery motion. You kind of understand what I'm getting at a little bit.
Yeah. Have you tried like tricking your mind as well?
What do you mean?
So I was out on delivery one day and I just found like this like paperweight like out of nowhere. Like it's like a literally a weight plate, but it's like 1 3/4. So instead of doing the 10 or 15 pounds that I loved hitting, I put this like little 1 3/4 on my loading pin, and it's just chilling there. And then I put the 15 or 20 pounds on there that I like, and now like my head does like knows it's there, but it's out of my mind when I'm pulling it. Like,
I got you.
So my muscles, like, it has no idea. It thinks it's that same 15 or 20. I mean, maybe I'm getting somewhere with it, maybe I'm not, but sooner or later I feel like it'll tell, and then maybe take that one off and like throw like 2.5 pounder on there kind of thing, a little extra, but not too much. Like,
Yeah. Now I have this. This is my training book.
that's awesome.
So there is training.
Oh, I had one of those and it went
So
down the drain. It was terrible.
What I'm finding is my amount of the weights that I used at the beginning of last year in March was really, to be honest with you, the same amount of weights as what I'm using now, if not a little bit more, actually.
Yeah, I've noticed that with myself, but the problem is I'm winging it and I'm not writing it down. So I'm
write it down, brother.
Yeah, I'm
You
at that point where I'm learning that I need to write it down.
Yeah. You're not going to know in 6 months if you've gotten any stronger, because you can't remember the weight that you did 6 months ago.
But that's why I was gauging myself off people, and now I'm
that's too subjective, because they could be gaining too.
Well, but that's the thing. I know they're gaining strength, so as long as I'm still gaining more strength than them, then I'm still we're both going in the same direction type of thing. You
Yeah,
know,
that's fair. That's fair, but it's always going to be subjective. Get your weights
I'm
and
I'm
write down
blind.
the numbers.
I'm going in blind every time I do it like that. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I need to start seeing,
You can see it.
thinking.
You can see it on your notebook.
You having a notebook is thinking outside of the box. Me, I'm still thinking inside of the box, and I need to think outside of it.
I would if you listen to me about anything, get you a notebook, start your motions, pick 10 motions, and do each one 100 reps, so you're going to do 1,000 reps for a recovery day, pick 10 motions, whatever ones you want to do, back pressure, supination, multi-spinner, whatever it be, pick 10 of them, your favorite ones or whatever you want to work on, man, and do those 1,000 reps four times a week. 4 times a week, 4,000 reps a week.
I'm so happy that you're going to have this so I can go back, because I listen, I hear it, and then like it's one thing to hear it the first time, but for some reason my brain, when I'm like I'm more hands-on, so when I get my hands on it, I'll be able to do it. So hearing it now, it will escape me. But being able to go back and watch this and like pinpoint those things again, like I'll be able to really work that. And it seems like that's how my mind works, period. And then certain, everybody's different. So arm wrestlers, you can see some gain so much more strength, and people will be like, oh, that they're on something, PDs or roids or something. And like, no, dude, they just put in the work.
You got to put in the work.
Yeah, like you don't understand. Like you don't have to do that stuff to get better. You just have to give it time. It takes more time to gain strength that way. I'm not against PDs, but I'm not for them either. I'm a fine line, because I feel like for the sport, we don't need them in certain aspects. And then for the sport, in other aspects, we do need those things. So I'm grateful for the people who are doing them, but, I'm grateful for the people that aren't doing them. It's so, I love all of it, arm wrestling as a whole. It's okay to me, how you want to do it. It's your way.
Yeah.
Your way of the highway. So, like Limp Bizkit says.
So we've been on it. What do we got? An hour and 40 minutes. We're going to be wrapping it up here soon. So if anybody has any questions, pop them in the chat. I've gone through all the questions that I've been wanting to ask you. Is there anything that you want to tell everybody on the live stream? Is there anything that you want to let the arm wrestling community know?
I was gonna talk about my favorite puller. Well, pullers. But right now, like I have 4, and I like love watching them. I love watching Paul Lynn, Brandon Elsesser, Paul Talbot, and Adam Warzone Rosinski.
Yeah.
Like those 4 are so awesome.
Yeah.
Like I love watching the fire they have, when they pull, the desire to work and outwork people, and they're intense, and then they're also really good people, really helpful. I love that in arm wrestling, that brotherhood. Like that's one of the reasons I've stuck with it, is brotherhood.
That's awesome. I'll have Mr. East versus West, Mr. Paul in on the podcast there in the future. I think he's scheduled for January sometime.
That's
We're
awesome.
gonna get him in, so that'll be a fun one.
Heck yeah. That's a great collab. That's so cool, dude.
Yeah, he's one of the nicest men in the sport for sure. And
Absolutely.
we appreciate him, everything that he does for the community. But yeah, man. So Adam, I really was impressed though with what he did over there in Turkey. Man,
Dude,
stone cold
that
killer.
was something else. I was wow. I was beyond wowed. I was like that was insane. Like he told me, a couple different things and I'm like, I'm not doing those things. Even after him teaching me, back in the summer, hey, I'm like, hey, so what kind of statics do you do? He's like, I don't do statics. I'm like, oh man. I was like, dude, I really like to do them. I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to stop doing them, I'm like, dang it, And he's like, no, you know like how I really built my hand? And I'm like, how? He's like, that rice bucket. He's like, that's my go-to. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, the one thing that I never want to do is a rice bucket. And I'm like, son of a gun. Like, I still haven't done it, but it's on my, I'll probably end up doing that. And when I go to do it, I'm going to love it. And I'm going to be mad that I didn't do it. Because that's what always happens to me. It seems like it's like my brain says, do it your way. And, if I could get out, that's arm wrestling is get out of your own way, be coachable, learn, like those things. You can do any of those in life, in any sport, anything in general, and just come from the low to the high, with those. And me being in my own way is definitely a big thing for sure. And then I have these like epiphanies or something, like Trapped just came out with a song called Get Out of Your Own Way. And I'm like, you're kidding me. It's just like speaks to me, I always tell everybody, like, that's one thing God has done for me, always shown me something that I thought I knew, but I didn't know, and it just all in life in general.
Get those revelations, get those revelations, but they're usually like way down the line, from
you don't learn until you really learn.
Exactly.
The hard way.
Yeah. How did you like the Alcester Tullier match? That was
so awesome.
That was
like
one.
I was so happy it was a battle like that. I can't thank Monster Michael Todd enough for putting that on for us for free after that. Like recently, I had been like opposed to like putting money in, but to things, but like it was because after the first two like King of the Tables, something happened where I put the money in for the third one. It might have like shifted the East versus West. Like the King of the Tables I might actually got, but then one of the East versus West didn't like go through. And I was like, it's paid for, but I couldn't watch it. And then I watched it like for free, the next one, I think it was. And I'm like, all right, so I want to watch it for free because I can get it for free. And then I saw some other people like saying like that, but I'm like, okay, but also you have to be supporting the sport. So then I went back to like all right, now I have to pay for it. Even if I can't watch it, I can pay for it and then still watch it for free later on, even if they weren't giving me my money back for the screw up, because that happens in life to me too. I out on delivery, I go to Sheets and they put like 3 things on my receipt that weren't even on there, and I paid for them. And I was gonna go back and say, hey, can I get something? Well, went to another one. They messed my order up and they gave me something for free. I was like, so it came full circle. So, the universe righted it. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm on board with supporting with the money. And then even if I'm not getting anything out of it, I'm giving. So I'm actually getting something out of it, even though I'm, getting something taken, So I became a member of the 98% YouTube channel.
Nice.
It's like $3, like for the lowest thing, and I'm like, okay, like I can hack that. I want to eventually go to like a gym, and I'm like, well, the best one for me is probably going to be like the lowest thing, like Planet Fitness is $1 down, $10 a month thing, just to have a different training thing than what I do here. Because
Right.
I feel like the more you confuse your body, the better outcome at times, but not all the time. It doesn't work all the time, but definitely every now and then. Like, I went to James Reed's tournament 2 weeks before yours, and then went to yours, and the gains I got from that were amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But the pain I got from it as well were amazing. And so I'm like, okay, if I ever want to level up, I can do something like that. But on top of that, if I'm just looking to win said match, only shoot for one, tournament and do that match there, and then don't do the match, at the next one type of thing. Like if I'm going to put them together that close. But personally, me, I think I've learned from Dave Chafee, just watching, him face Layleton and then Hermes. Like, I feel like that was too close to each other, because I feel like Hermes is probably close in strength with Dave, but not that close. Like, I think that it would have been a closer match, but you're not a pro, so you can't really say 110% like that's the way it goes. But from my 2 experiences at those 2 tournaments, that is what I learned. And I'm like, okay, so would I, I'll be better if I pull one match, a month before. So I'll wait like 4 weeks before having another match, because I know my body and what it will do in the healing time, depending on the workouts, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's always you're honing it in. And that's one of the things, like, I see. Like, I'm like, okay, that's what it's going to be. And that's how I'm going to do it.
Nice.
Until I learn otherwise, or pick up more, or,
I got you.
Always love grabbing more from people to learn. So
I got you. That stuff falling over. Well, Chucky, I appreciate the time tonight, man.
Thanks, brother.
I really do. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast. And I tell you what, we had our first match confirmation on the podcast, and that I'm looking forward to that match between you and Mike Williamson, right-handed, Max 205 on May 13th at Garage Wars. That's going to be a great event. I'm gonna let Alex know that you want a little piece of him. Maybe you do. Maybe you do
that. He already knows.
Alex,
he said,
and then your right-hand match with Mike. You may think about doing that.
Right? Oh, we're talking. Okay.
So you figure that out. I'll ask Alex if he's interested or whatever, but we'll get you guys on the table either way, maybe at some point. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. It was a great conversation, man. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. It's my honor. Thanks.
No problem at all.
Very honored.
Hey, everybody in the chat, we appreciate everybody being here. Thanks for everybody.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening. Thanks for talking. Yeah.
So make sure you guys go to Chucky Peterson Arm Wrestling. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Check out all of his videos. Watch them all the way through. Like each one of them. Make sure you subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, they're all pretty short. So.
Hey, that's all right. These are my ones, and it's only able to be live for it because I'm not saving this amount of data on my phone. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But all right, guys, we appreciate everybody. Chucky, I appreciate you, man. You have a wonderful night, and God bless.
God bless. Have a good night, brother. Have a good night, everybody.
See you, everybody. God bless.